Hey everyone, this is Casey from GravityKit, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to build a projects database similar to like what the World Bank has on their website. So before our last episode of GravityKit Live, which is our monthly live stream, we had a really interesting question come in from a viewer. Somebody asked if we could try to show them how to build a projects database similar to like what the World Bank has on their website. So if you go to projects.worldbank.org, you can see that they have this database set up, and you can see they have all these different projects that they're running and all this information about the various projects. And I took a look at this and I thought, this is a perfect use case for Gravity Forms and GravityKit. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to set this up. So let's take a look at all the different elements here first before we get started. So you can see here is the main table housing the various projects. At the top, you can see some pagination information. So you can see they have 27,000 projects. Here on the right, you can see a download link to actually download this information to an Excel file. And then here they have filters, so you can actually search for projects that match certain criteria. And then if you click on a project, that'll take you through to this page where you can see more details about it. So you can see the project abstract here. You can see the development objective, and then they have key details with all the additional information about that project. So let's jump into my demo site and see how we can recreate this using Gravity Forms and GravityView. Okay, so to save some time, I've already set up a form here with all of the data that we need. So let me go ahead and preview that form so you can see what it looks like. What I've done is I've just copied the different fields that the World Bank has for each project. So we've got like a project ID, a project title, a status, the team leader, borrower, etc. And there's a lot of information here. And then finally, we do have a space for the abstract and development objective. So I've built that out in Gravity Forms. And then what I've done is I've submitted a bunch of dummy entries. This is not real data, but these are dummy projects that I've added here. And you can see all the entries over here. So if we view one of these, you can see what it looks like. So we have the project ID and the project title and the status, and all of this information has been filled out here. And we have the abstract and the development objective. Okay, great. So let's dive into GravityView and see how to set this up on the front end. So what I'm going to do is hover over GravityKit and click New View, and I'll give my view a name quick. Next, I can choose a data source, and this will be the project's form that I just showed you. There we go. And the next step is to choose a view type. Now we saw that the World Bank is using a table to show all of the projects. So we'll go ahead and select the table layout. And now we can start setting things up. So let's start here on the multiple entries layout, which is the page that displays all of our listings one after the other. So in this case, it's going to be similar to, if I go back here, to the main table here that the World Bank has. So let's go ahead and set this up exactly like they have it. So as you can see, GravityView actually adds a few widgets for us. And we've got a search bar added here. We've got the pagination info already added as a widget. So that's great. We've got the page links here. And we can actually remove that one because we don't need it. And we'll come back to the search bar to configure that. But let's scroll down and see what else we have. So here is all of the fields that will display in our project. And you can see we've got the project ID, title, status, team leader, borrower. This is a little bit different to what the World Bank has. So they have the title first, and then the country, and then the ID, and then a few other fields. So let's adjust our table to make it the same as this. Okay, so first I'm going to move the ID to the second field there. I'm going to open the settings, and I'm going to disable this link to single entry because we actually want the project title to be the link to the single entry. So I'll open that and click link to single entry. There we go. So that's great. So we got the project. We need the country in there and the commitment amount. So let's go ahead and add those fields. I'll click add field and just search for country. There we go. And commitment amount. There we go. So let's drag that to the correct place. Project title, country, project ID. I think the commitment amount was next. And if we go back here, let's see, we got the status, approval date, date last updated date. So status, we can remove these two fields. We don't need the team leader or the borrower. we just need our dates in there. So approval date, last update date, and I believe there was one more, the last stage reached. So I'll search for stage, and there we go. So those are all the fields we need. Let's pause there. Let's take a look and see what things are looking like on the front end before we continue. All right, so here's our table. It's looking pretty good. We've got the same fields in there, just like the World Bank has on their website. We've got the pagination information here, and we've got our search bar. So we're still missing a couple of things. We need the download link. We also need to configure our search bar, so it's a little bit more helpful. And then we need the ability to sort by column here. So as you can see on the World Bank site, they have the ability to actually sort the table by individual columns. So let's go ahead and add these various features. So let's start with the download link. I'm going to scroll down to the view settings. I'm going to go to the permissions tab, and I'm going to enable allow export. Okay, that's great. And now I'm going to scroll back up and add a new widget here and add the export link widget. So this will output a link that enables users to actually download this information to a CSV file. So that is all set up. Let's go ahead and add column sorting. Go back to the view settings here, and I will go to the filter and sort tab here, and then enable column sorting. Okay, so let's update that, and let's take another look at what that looks like on the front end. We refresh. Okay, it's looking good. So we've got column sorting in here. So I can click on the arrows here to sort by these different columns. And I also have the download CSV link, so I can download the data. So the final thing left to do is configure the search bar. So I'll go back to my view and I'll open the settings here for the search bar widget. And here I can add additional search input fields. So I'll just click the plus button and let me add a bunch of fields here. Okay, there we go. I think that's about enough. So let me go ahead and update the view, and then we'll check that out on the front end. All right, so here's our search bar. It's looking pretty good. We've got a bunch of different fields here that the users can search by. And then, yeah, we've got our table, our download link. We've got column sorting enabled. So everything's looking pretty good for the multiple entries page. The next step would be to configure the single entry page, where we can view more details about a specific project. So let's go back to the World Bank site and let's click through to one of these projects here. And let's take another look at what this looks like. So they've got the abstract here at the top, the development objective, and then the key details. And you can see the key details are kind of using like a 4-column layout. So immediately I'm noticing that we'll need to use the GravityView layout builder to actually recreate this layout. It's a bit too complex to use a preset layout like a list or a table. So let's go back to our view. Let's click on the single entry layout tab here. And you can see currently it's set to table because that is our view type, but we can actually change it here by clicking this arrow. And let's go ahead and change that to the layout builder. The layout builder is a core view type that's available in the basic plugin as well as the pro version. So I'll click layout builder and we'll continue. And now we get a blank slate, but we can create our own layout using rows and columns. So first thing I'm going to do is hop back over to the World Bank site, and I'm going to start building this out. So we've got a heading here that says abstract, and then the abstract, we've got a heading that says development objectives, and then the development objectives. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by adding a custom content field, and that's going to be my heading. So a custom content field allows you to add your own text, HTML, shortcodes, whatever you like into the view. So I'll open that, and I'm going to go ahead and add an H2 here. And I'm going to say abstract. There we go. And just so I know what that is, I'm going to change the admin label. There we go. Perfect. Now I'm going to add a field, and I'm going to add my abstract field in there. There we go. Now I'm going to add another row, and we'll choose a full width row again. And we'll do exactly the same thing for the development objective. So I can actually clone this heading that I've got just by clicking this icon and then drag it to this row. Then open that and change the heading to development objective. There we go. And then I'll add the field below that. Okay, great. So let's actually update and take a look at what that looks like on the front end. Okay, so it's looking good. We've got the abstract, got the development objective. Now we need to add the key details. And if we go back, we can see again There's a heading that says key details, and then they have the remaining project information in this 4-column layout. So let's go back to our view. So let's add another full width row. And then I'll go ahead and duplicate the heading again, drag it down, and we'll open that and change that to key details. There we go. And now we can add all the other project information. So if we click add row here, you can see we have a bunch of different options for the column structure. Unfortunately, we don't have a 4-column layout, but we do have a 3-column layout. So let's go ahead and use that. And now I'm going to add all the remaining project fields in here. Okay, so that's it. I've added all of the remaining fields here in this 3-column row. And also, if I open up the field settings here, you can see I've enabled this option to show the label, because that is exactly how the World Bank has it on their website. So let's go ahead and update this and take a look at that on the front end. Okay, here we go. So we have the abstract heading and then the abstract, the same with the development objective. And then we have the key details here in this nice 3-column layout. So that is pretty darn close to what the World Bank has on their website. If we jump back over there, you can see what theirs looks like. And if we kept working on this, we could probably get it looking exactly the same. Okay, so let's run through it all again. So here we have our main projects database. We have a nice search bar here at the top where we can filter projects by different metrics. We have a table showing all of our projects with some key information. We also have an option to download this data to a CSV file. And if I click that, you can see it downloads automatically. And then the project title is a link, so we can click on that to go through to the single entry page and see more information about that particular project, including the abstract, the development objective, and all of the other key details. So we got this question from a viewer who wanted to recreate this projects database using Gravity Forms and GravityView. And as you can see, we were able to do it in only a few minutes. So if you found this walkthrough useful, make sure to check out more content on GravityKit Academy.